it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Winds. So we had to skip up a bunch, because it was a bunch of stuff that we've already seen, but we are at this decision here. So we've got either Persuade Him, which is what we chose last time when we were going for Sanan, but this time we're going to choose Scream. Sanan came to hate himself for being unable to fight alongside his comrades and friends. Even if they forgave him, he never forgave himself. But was it the sort of thing only a fellow swordsman could comprehend then? How could I convince him to listen to me? If I couldn't, then perhaps there was someone else who could. I screamed as loud as my lungs allowed, my voice echoing down the halls and across the courtyards of the compound. Help! Please, anyone! But even as I cried out, Sanan drew his head back and drained the vial in the single draught. No! With a soft clink of glass, it rolled from Sanan's palm to the floor of the common room. His face warped in pain and he collapsed to the floor. His hair began to turn white. It became clear to me that his pain was something no ordinary person can handle. Sanan, you have to hold on! Through his fingers, I saw his maddening eyes. Before me were the eyes that greeted me on that first night in Kyoto. Behind me, I heard the door slide open. Sanan looked behind me, over my shoulder.
Okita-kun. Desu ka? Konbanwa, Sannan-san.
It seemed like Okita didn't even look at me, his eyes completely focused on Sanan. Then briefly, the small bottle on the floor before back to Sanan. Okita, Sanan is... Sanan stared at Okita, his breaths ragged and pained, like air struggled to stay in his chest. Wait, does Sanan actually die here? His expression flashed into a familiar grin. Oh my god, okay. Even after Okita drew his sword, it still didn't occur to me what was about to happen. The polished tip of Okita's blade was pointed directly at Sanan. Sanan exuded calm at the sound of Okita's response. I held my breath, unsure if I wanted to see what was about to happen before me. Okita, you're not serious, are you? You aren't going to kill him, are you? My voice shook with disbelief, and Okita's eyes paid me no attention.
Kimi-san, やめてくれないかな、そういうの。よそ者は黙っててよ。
But wasn't Sanan his comrade? Or his friend? Everyone seemed to give their heart and soul to the Shinsengumi, but not like this.
鬱陶しいんだよ。新選組大使にでもなったつもり?
He didn't even move, but his tone hit like a slap. I've been living with them for so long that my initial fear almost completely disappeared. I felt like I'd found a place for myself.
忘れたって言うんならもう一度言ってあげるよ。君は利用価値があるから生かしてあげてるだけで、僕たちの仲間じゃない。
His words shattered my already breaking heart. But just then... Sanan screamed in pain, and I saw him kick the floor. Then I heard a horrific sound, like meat being cleaved and resounding through the darkness. Peeking over Okita's back, I heard the loud thud of a body collapsing to the floor, and around Okita's foot pooled the dark red puddle of blood. Senin? I was trembling as I watched the blood trickle.
近づかない方がいいよ。
Okita's arm appeared in front of me coldly. What? But why? I gave him a reproachful gaze, but he showed no signs of faltering.
何度も言わせないでくれる。近づくなって言ってるでしょ。深手は負わせたけど、また襲いかかってこないとは限らないしね。
Huh?
あの薬を使ったら、この程度じゃ死ねないんだよ。
So, Senin is still alive? Okita nodded bitterly, his body locked into a defensive position.
死ねないって言ってるんだから。生きてるに決まってるでしょ。
I was relieved from the bottom of my heart. Oh, thank goodness. This good news, however, didn't mean that we could let our guard down. Senin could lose his senses again and potentially mortally wound us. But for now, at least Senin was still alive. After Senin collapsed, the captains rushed into the room. They must have heard the commotion from the common room. Everything glowed white after, and I realized that I was in a daze. None of their words stuck in my ear, and I wobbled back to my room.
まったく手間がかかる子だよね、君って。
If we've seen this before, I'm going to go ahead and skip up. Alright, so we're back. So we've skipped a whole bunch of stuff. The guys came back from Edo with a couple of new recruits. We just met the demons, so it was like Chikage and his crew. And then we had the option to go back to headquarters or to stay, so we chose go back to headquarters again, which was the same choice that we made last time, except now we're getting slightly different dialogue. So we're going to go ahead and check it out. Even as I ran back to headquarters with Yamazaki, I couldn't shake the fear in my heart. When I finally got to the compounds, I still felt nervous, and I could do nothing but stare into the blank darkness behind me.
もう大丈夫だ。さすがにここまで追ってはこれまい。
Okay, so we've got options here. You're right, or but. We're gonna choose but again. But
不安なところ申し訳ないが、俺は副長たちのところへ戻らなくてはならない。皆将軍校の警護に出ているから、今の屯所に大使はほとんど残っていない。沖田さんか東堂さんのところにいるのがいいだろう。そこが最も安全だ。
okay, understood.
では、後のことは頼んだぞ。
With that, he disappeared back into the darkness. Suddenly, the night felt very quiet. The word demon echoed through my head, and their faces floated in front of my eyes. I shook my head. As the temple came back into focus, I felt very, very alone. As Yamazaki said, I should go find Okita or Haiseki. But whom should I go look for? We're gonna go look for Okita.
あれ
Okita looked up from cleaning his sword as I entered the hall.
二条城に行ってるんじゃなかったっけ？どうしたの？一人で。
Well,
あ、わかった。さては何か失敗して土方さんに追い返されたんでしょ。
yeah, something like that.
あのさ、そんな引きつった顔で返事されても全然からかいがいがないんだけど、何があったのか聞かせてくれるかな？
Well, still feeling upset, I told Okita about the incident that unfolded at Niho Castle. The minute I mentioned Kazuma's name, Okita's eyes lit up.
へえ、そうなの。風間千景。あいつらが来るって分かってれば、意地でも言ったんだけどな。
What? Of course he could have. No, you're sick. Hichikata told you to rest.
うるさいな。そもそも君が悪いんじゃない。君にもらった薬、全然効か。
Oh. Okita! Just for a moment, all colors but one faded away. I forgot about demons and castles upon seeing one thing, the sticky red splatter across Okita's hand and mouth. Are you okay? I'll go get someone. Haisuki!
ダメだ!
His voice was rough and strained, but filled with unexpected rage. He wiped the blood from his mouth and glared at me over the top of his head. From under his bangs, his eyes burning with anger, nailed me to the floor.
今見たことは忘れて。大丈夫。ただ喉が傷ついただけだよ。
Back when I was in Edo, I was helping my father out at his clinic. There were a few times where I'd see patients who'd cough up blood from coughing too much. But what I just saw was something else. Okita.
聞こえなかった。忘れろって言ったでしょ。
He was so adamant about me not helping him, so it was difficult to know how to react. What could I tell him? But, or I won't tell anyone. We're gonna say but. But...
もし君がこのことを誰かに言うつもりなら。
Okay. But in the least, please just go to sleep and rest.
しょうがないか。
Okita pouted like a child and unwillingly accepted. The wounds of men who claimed to be demons lingered in my heart. There were so many things for me to be worried about. However, more than any of that, I was just worried about the man sick in front of me. I continued to eye Okita, who slept with his back faced towards me as I watched the dawn slowly emerge through the long, cold night. Let's see. We're gonna try and skip up. Alright, so Itu has now showed up, and we just saw all of the guys shirtless doing whatever they're doing, and Yamazaki found us. So now we are trying to figure out what we're gonna do here. I'll just show you this. However, the physicals are taking, yes, right, they're doing their physicals. They're taking some time. Will you leave this to me? What should I do? We are gonna say, no, I'll take care of it. Oh, don't worry. It's my own business. I'll take care of it.
そうか。では、何かあったら手伝おう。その時は頼ってくれ。
Okay, thank you so much. Yamazaki and I parted ways, and I walked towards the examination room where the doctor worked.
君はもう少し胃腸に気をつけるようにな。この薬を食後に飲むように。今ので薬が切れたか。
I waited outside for Dr. Matsumoto until he stepped out of the examination room. Excuse me? He looked at me for a moment, his eyes narrowed in curiosity.
薬の補充も兼ねて休憩にしようか。君、ちょっと手伝ってくれるかね。
Oh, yes, of course. What luck! Alright, so we're going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.